Chapter 11. When Jabin, king of Hazor, heard of all this, he sent word to Jobab, king of Madon, to the king of Shimron, to the king of Akshaph, to all the kings in the northern mountains, to the kings in the valleys south of Kinnereth, to the kings in the western foothills, and Naphoth Dor, to the Canaanites both east and west, to the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, and Jebusites in the hill country, and to the Hivites below Hermon in the region of Mizpah. They came out in full force, all their troops massed together, a huge army, in number like sand on an ocean beach, to say nothing of all the horses and chariots. All these kings met and set up camp together at the waters of Merom, ready to fight against Israel. God said to Joshua, "Don't worry about them. This time tomorrow, I'll hand them over to Israel, all dead. You'll hamstring their horses. You'll set fire to their chariots." Joshua, his entire army with him, took them by surprise, falling on them at the waters of Merom. God gave them to Israel, who struck and chased them all the way to Greater Sidon, to Misrephoth-Maim, and then to the valley of Mizpah on the east. No survivors. Joshua treated them following God's instructions. He hamstrung their horses. He burned up their chariots. Then Joshua came back and took Hazor, killing its king. Early on, Hazor had been head of all these kingdoms. They killed every person there, carrying out the holy curse. Not a breath of life left anywhere. Then he burned down Hazor. Joshua captured and massacred all the royal towns with their kings, the holy curse commanded by Moses, the servant of God. But Israel didn't burn the cities that were built on mounds, except for Hazor. Joshua did burn down Hazor. The people of Israel plundered all the loot, including the cattle, from these towns for themselves. But they killed the people, total destruction. They left nothing human that breathed. Just as God commanded his servant Moses, so Moses commanded Joshua, and Joshua did it. He didn't leave incomplete one thing that God had commanded Moses. Joshua took the whole country, the mountains, the southern desert, all of Goshen, the foothills, the valley, the Arabah, and the Israel mountains with their foothills, from Mount Halak, which towers over the region of Seir, all the way to Baal-Gad in the valley of Lebanon, in the shadows of Mount Hermon. He captured their kings and then killed them. Joshua fought against these kings for a long time. Not one town made peace with the people of Israel, with the one exception of the Hivites who lived in Gibeon. Israel fought and took all the rest. It was God's idea that they all would stubbornly fight the Israelites so he could put them under the holy curse without mercy. That way, he could destroy them just as God had commanded Moses. Joshua came out at that time also to root out the Anakim from the hills, from Hebron, from Debir, from Adad, from the mountains of Judah, from the mountains of Israel. Joshua carried out the holy curse on them in their cities. No Anakim were left in the land of the people of Israel, except in Gaza, Gath, and Ashdod. There were a few left there. Joshua took the whole region. He did everything that God had told Moses. Then he parceled it out as an inheritance to Israel according to their tribes, and Israel had rest from war. Chapter 12. The Defeated Kings. These are the kings that the people of Israel defeated, and whose land they took on the east of the Jordan, from the Arnon Gorge to Mount Hermon, with the whole eastern side of the Arabah Valley. Sihon, king of the Amorites, who reigned from Heshbon. His rule extended from Aroer, which sits at the edge of the Arnon Gorge, from the middle of the gorge and over half of Gilead to the gorge of the Jabbok River, which is the border of the Ammonites. His rule included the eastern Arabah Valley, from the Sea of Kinnereth to the Arabah Sea, the Salt Sea, eastward toward Beth Jeshimoth, and southward to the slopes of Pisgah. And Og, king of Bashan, one of the last of the Rephaim who reigned from Ashtaroth and Edrei. His rule extended from Mount Hermon and Silica over the whole of Bashan to the border of the Geshurites and the Maacathites, the other half of Gilead, to the border of Sihon, king of Heshbon. Moses, the servant of God, and the people of Israel defeated them. And Moses, the servant of God, gave this land as an inheritance to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and half of the tribe of Manasseh. And these are the kings of the land that Joshua and the people of Israel defeated in the country west of the Jordan, from Baal-Gad in the valley of Lebanon, south to Mount Halak, which towers over Seir. Joshua gave this land to the tribes of Israel as a possession, according to their divisions: lands in the mountains, the western foothills, in the Arabah valley, on the slopes, and in the wilderness in the Negev desert, lands on which Hittites, Amorites, and Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites had lived. The kings were: the king of Jericho, 1. The king of Ai, near Bethel, 1. The king of Jerusalem, 1. The king of Hebron, 1. The king of Jarmuth, 1. The king of Lachish, 1. The king of Eglon, 1. The king of Gezer, 1. The king of Deber, 1. The king of Geder, 1. The king of Hormah, 1. The king of Arad, 1. The king of Libnah, 1. The king of Adullam, 1. The king of Makkedah, 1. The king of Bethel, 1. The king of Tepuah, 1. The king of Hepher, 1. The king of Aphek, 1. The king of Lasharon, 1. The king of Madon, 1. The king of Hazar, 1. The king of Shimron-Meron, 1. The king of Akshaph, 1. The king of Taanach, 1. The king of Megiddo, 1. The king of Kedesh, 1. The king of Jokneam in Carmel, 1. The king of Dor, Naphoth Dor, 1. The king of Goyim in Gilgal, 1. The king of Tirzah, 1. A total of 31 kings. Chapter 13. The Receiving of the Land. When Joshua had reached a venerable age, God said to him, "You've had a good, long life, but there's a lot of land still to be taken. This is the land that remains: all the districts of the Philistines and Geshurites, the land from the Shihor River east of Egypt to the border of Ekron up north, Canaanite country. There were 5 Philistine tyrants in Gaza, in Ashdod, in Ashkelon, in Gath, in Ekron. Also the Avim from the south, all the Canaanite land from Arah belonging to the Sidonians, to Aphek at the Amorite border, the country of the Gibeelites, all Lebanon eastward from Baal-Gad in the shadow of Mount Hermon to the entrance of Hamath, all who live in the mountains from Lebanon to Misrephoth-Maim, all the Sidonians. I myself will drive them out before the people of Israel. All you have to do is allot this land to Israel as an inheritance, as I have instructed you. Do it now. Allot this land as an inheritance to the 9 tribes and the half-tribe of Manasseh." Land east of the Jordan. The other half-tribe of Manasseh, with the Reubenites and Gadites, had been given their inheritance by Moses on the other side of the Jordan, eastward. Moses, the servant of God, gave it to them. This land extended from Aroer at the edge of the Arnon Gorge and the city in the middle of the valley, taking in the entire tableland of Medeba as far as Dibon, and all the towns of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who ruled from Heshbon, and out to the border of the Ammonites. It also included Gilead, the country of the people of Gesher and Maacah, all of Mount Hermon, and all Bashan as far as Salakah, the whole kingdom of Og and Bashan, who reigned in Ashtaroth and Edrei. He was one of the last survivors of the Rephaim. Moses had defeated them and taken their land. The people of Israel never did drive out the Geshurites and the Maacathites. They're still there, living in Israel. Levi was the only tribe that did not receive an inheritance. The fire gift offerings to God, the God of Israel, are their inheritance, just as he told them. Reuben. To the tribe of Reuben, clan by clan, Moses gave the land from Aroer at the edge of the Arnon Gorge and the town in the middle of the valley, including the tableland around Medeba, Heshbon on the tableland with all its towns, Dibon, Bamoth-Baal, Beth-Baal-Meon, Jahaz, Kedemoth, Mephaath, Kiriathaim, Sibmah, Zereth-Shahar on Valley Mountain, Beth-Peor, the slopes of Pisgah, Beth-Jeshemoth, and all the cities of the tableland, the whole kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who ruled at Heshbon, whom Moses put to death along with the princes of Midian, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba, who lived in that country, all puppets of Sihon. In addition to those killed in battle, Balaam, son of Beor, the soothsayer, was put to death by the people of Israel. The boundary for the Reubenites was the bank of the Jordan River. This was the inheritance of the Reubenites, their villages and cities, according to their clans. Gad. To the tribe of Gad, clan by clan, Moses gave the territory of Jazer and all the towns of Gilead, and half the Ammonite country as far as Aroer near Reba, the land from Heshbon to Ramoth Mizpah and Bitunim, and from Mahanaim to the region of Debir. In the valley, Beth-haram, Beth-nimrah, Succoth, and Zaphon, with the rest of the kingdom of Sihon, king of Heshbon, the east side of the Jordan, north to the end of the Sea of Kinnereth. This was the inheritance of the Gadites, their cities and villages, clan by clan. Half-tribe of Manasseh. To the half-tribe of Manasseh, clan by clan, Moses gave the land stretching out from Mahanaim, all of Bashan, which is the entire kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, and all the settlements of Jair and Bashan, 60 towns in all. Half of Gilead with Ashtaroth and Edrei, the royal cities of Og and Bashan, belonged to the descendants of Machir, a son of Manasseh, in other words, the half-tribe of the children of Machir, for their clans. This is the inheritance that Moses gave out when he was on the plains of Moab, across the Jordan, east of Jericho. But Moses gave no inheritance to the tribe of Levi. God, the God of Israel, is their inheritance, just as he told them.